Hello lovelies and welcome back. Today is Saturday, August 16th. It is the last day of our trip here on Royal Caribbean Grandeur of the Seas. So I just wanted to take a little time this morning as I'm getting ready for us to disembark the ship, just to share a little bit about yesterday, our last day at sea, and just some of the adventures that we had as we finished up our wonderful vacation this week. So come along with me and let's make up the rules. Yesterday, the first thing that we went and did was a cupcake decorating class, and that was an additional fee to participate just for the supplies and materials and everything. And so that was up on deck 11 in the Viking Crown Lounge, and they had a long table set up for all of the participants, and at each table place they had a plate that had one vanilla cupcake and then some rolled up balls of fondant, and then they had some whipped cream and chocolate chips for each person. And so when we got there pretty close to 10 o'clock, which is when the activity was scheduled to begin. And then they were waiting on a couple of people, so we just kind of got signed in and settled in before the activity would begin. And then we just kind of hung out for a little bit, waiting for the final participants to arrive. So when we got there, they had us sign in by our stateroom number. They had everybody's name on their checklist, so they just checked us off, and then they had us go behind the bar counter and wash our hands. They were very much about sanitation, which we appreciated. And then after we did that, we had to sign a waiver just saying that just some questions about food safety. So that was real quick and real easy, and we just signed off on that. And then we found a couple of chairs at the table. There were plenty of spaces. We were wondering if maybe some people didn't show up for the event and who had signed up for it, because there were several extra place settings with cupcakes at them. So we weren't really sure, but there were several that no one ever ended up coming up to. So we ended up having plenty of space. We were able to get settled in there, and then waited just a few minutes before the activity actually began. So we were there, and then there were just a few other participants. It wasn't a very big group. There were several other kids, and then there was one other pair of adults who were sisters who were there with us. So we were glad we weren't the only adults, but it was still a fun activity and event. We just didn't realize it was going to be geared, I think, a little bit more to children, but it was still a lot of fun to go and to participate in that. And so our instructor came and he just grabbed a seat. He actually sat right across from where we were sitting, because we were pretty close to the middle of the table. And so he had the same plate that everybody else had, and he just kind of went through step by step on how to roll the fondant between your hands, and then how to apply all of the fondant onto the cupcakes to create a frog. That's what we were making. And so we created his body, legs, his eyeballs, using some white fondant and chocolate chips, and we used the whipped cream kind of like glue to attach them together. And then we were able to use the rest of our chocolate chips like little flies, putting those on the plate around the frog, and gave him a little tongue so we could stick one of the flies or the chocolate chip on the end of his tongue as well, like he had caught one. So that was so cute. It was such a fun activity to do, and we really enjoyed doing that together. And then once we finished, we were able to, of course, eat our designs and our cupcake. So they were really good. They were very sugary, but they tasted really good. And then also every participant in the activity was provided with a certificate that had actually been signed by the head chef of the restaurants there on the ship. So that was really cool. That was a really unique little souvenir to be able to take back from our trip. So we really enjoy getting to do that activity. And then once we finished there, we went over to the Centrum, the main area in the just kind of lobby of the ship, and we went over there and they were having something called the Captain's Corner, and that was where they had just a small panel of some of the bigger figures of the ship. So they had the captain himself, then they also had the head of engineering and the head of the hotels, and so they're the director of the hotels, and so that was really cool. They had them all there with our cruise director Talita, and they went through and she just kind of introduced each one of them and asked them a few just kind of get to know you type questions, a little bit about who they are, where they're from, how long they've been working on ships, and then just some of their favorite ports that they've been to, some of their most difficult challenges they faced. So it was really cool just to hear a little bit about them. And then once she finished introducing them, they went around the room, and if anyone had any questions for them, they had one of the ladies out in the crowd that she worked on the ship and had a microphone. And so if you raised your hand, she would come over and provide you with the microphone and would ask or allow you to ask your question. As we were sitting there, I started thinking that Dylan had asked a question earlier in the week, and I was kind of, oh, this is a good opportunity for you to get to ask this.
And I was wondering where all the fresh water on the ship comes from.
Finally, you got a question.
Yeah, I'm so happy when I don't have questions, you know. We have water makers. We have 2 reverse osmosis and 2 evaporators on board. We are producing around 70 cubic meters of the fresh water, and more or less depends of the day, but more or less we are consuming as well the same amount. We are talking about 18,000 gallons, or equal to consumption per person a day is around 50 gallons per person. This is approximately our consumption and production.
It was funny because most of the questions, of course, the captain had been answering. They were things that he just was more of an expert on, and even the director of the hotels had answered a few questions. But at that point, when Dylan asked his question, the chief of the engineers, he piped up and he was going, oh good, I finally have a question I can answer. And so he explained a little bit about how they have freshwater makers that they have on board, and just the quantities of water that they need, and just how that process works. So it was really cool and really interesting just to get to hear a little bit about that. And so we really enjoyed that time there in the Centrum with those officers. The captain himself, he was really funny. He was very funny guy, and they actually said that he is going on vacation starting today. And so I guess once we get back into Tampa, he's going to get off the ship, and they're going to do a handover to another captain who's going to take over for the next route that the ship is going on this coming week. So I'm sure he is very tired and ready to go on vacation and ready to enjoy that time with his family. So we really appreciate him and all of his hard work this week. We've had a very beautiful and a very smooth sailing this week, so it has been a great time, and we've had beautiful weather, beautiful sailing. So we have had just such a wonderful time this week on our vacation as well. So once we finished there at the Captain's Corner activity, then it was getting closer to lunchtime, so we decided to hop over to the Windjammer, and it was our last lunch on the ship. We weren't going to have another one today, and so we definitely savored it all. The food was really good, and we were glad to have some delicious lunch here on board. And then after that, we definitely feeling pretty tired from our trip, just because of just the amount of activities, all of the excursions and everything that we've gone on. And we knew we'd be going back home today and traveling and everything. So after lunch, we ended up deciding to come back to our cabin, and we just climbed in bed and took a nap for a little while. And that was it was nice. It was very relaxing and very restful to get to do that. So we really enjoyed getting to just take a little nap. And then once we got back up, it was time to start getting ready for dinner. That has definitely been something that's been a little a little challenging for us is having the early dinner. So, you know, a lot of times it feels like not a lot of time between lunch and dinner. And so it was good. We would have probably preferred the later dinner if we could have gotten that, just because it did feel so kind of back to back with the meals that we had, but we still really enjoyed it. And so we ended up getting ready for dinner yesterday and went over to the dining room at 5 o'clock for our time. It was really nice yesterday because they had a Bon Voyage menu that we were able to eat, and the dress yesterday, it was resort casual, but also it was white night. So if guests wanted to wear white clothing, that was an option as well. We were a little sad that not a lot of people participated in that, but we did. I had a white dress and a white hat, and then Dylan had a white polo that he wore. So we thought it was a really pretty and elegant dress code for the evening, and we really enjoyed getting to participate in that. And the food last night was excellent. It was really good. It had a little bit of a Greek theme to it, which was a little surprising to us for the Bon Voyage menu, but we thought it was really good. For our appetizers, we did get the French onion soup one last time. We've gotten that one several times. That's probably the one thing that we've gotten the most times repeated throughout the trip. And so we really enjoyed the French onion soup. We each got one of those. And then I also got a Mediterranean tapas medley, and I wasn't sure if I would like it. I wasn't sure exactly what it was going to be. And it ended up being some pita bread with some hummus, and then tzatziki sauce, and some just kind of seasoned vegetables. It had zucchini, it had some green and black olives, some red onion, and some peppers in it. And it was so good. That was one of my favorite appetizers from this week. It was really, really good. I dipped the pita bread into the hummus, and I dipped the vegetables into the tzatziki sauce, and it was so good. I definitely could have eaten more of that. So we really enjoyed our appetizers. And then for our main courses, as I said, I was kind of sticking with the Greek theme, and I got some vegetable moussaka, and it was good. It wasn't my favorite ever. It kind of had a sweetness to it, and the breadcrumbs that they had on the top were not my favorite, but it was good, and it got better the more that I ate it. Because I wasn't sure about that meal, I did also order the grilled chicken, and we had that a couple of times earlier in the week as well, and it was pretty good. So I felt like it was kind of a safe thing to get and to have again. And so I got that, and Dylan got that as well. And then Dylan also got a steak, and he really enjoyed that one. That was one of his favorites. So we had a great meal, and then we finished it off with some dessert. I got a crema catalana, which was really good. It was kind of like the creme brulee that we had earlier in the week. And then Dylan got the apple crumble and also a peach tart for his desserts, and he really enjoyed both of those. So it was nice to have some fruity desserts that were really good. Even the peach tart was sugar-free, but he said it was really good, and I tried a bite of it. It was very sweet. It had a very light peach flavor to it, so we definitely really enjoyed those. And it was so nice to have just such a good meal just to finish off this week. We really enjoyed all of our meals that we had in the main dining room throughout the week, so that was just something that was such a nice part of the day to look forward to. We really enjoyed our time with our servers. They were both great, our head waiter and our assistant waiter, and we really just enjoyed getting to know them throughout the week, and just seeing them every day. They were very friendly, very kind. They provided wonderful service, so we were very grateful for that. We really enjoyed our time with them, and last night was definitely a great way for all of the guests to show their appreciation for the dining room staff. They had all of them come out, kind of parade out, and come into the center of the main dining room and really gave acknowledgement to the chefs, to the wait staff, to everybody that really made this such a wonderful experience this week. And so we were able to applause for them, cheer for them, and then we did notice that a lot of people in the dining room were taking pictures with their wait staff, and so we ended up deciding to do that too. We asked them if we could take a photo with them so that we could have the memory of their service that they provided for us on the ship. So we really appreciated them and really enjoyed seeing them every day. It was just really nice. They learn your names, they learn a little bit about just your preferences and what you like. So, you know, a lot of times they would bring us drinks without even asking. They knew what we wanted, and so it was just really, really nice to have the week with them and spend that time with them. So we just had such a wonderful dinner just to finish out the week, and are just so grateful for such a wonderful experience in the main dining room. And so we finished up our last dinner here on the ship, and then after dinner we went outside and we took some pictures and just kind of enjoyed as the sun was starting to go down and starting to set. Just some wonderful beautiful sunlight just there on the ocean. It was such a nice view just to be able to look out and to see while we were sailing. As we were looking out at the water, we were just making our way down the deck and going over to the Palladium Theater. In the show last night, they said they wanted to start out the week and end out the week with some laughter and some camaraderie with the staff and the guests. And so they had another comedian. His name was Derek Cameron, and he actually was putting on 2 different shows last night. And so at 7 o'clock, he had a general just farewell comedy show for everyone on board. And then a little bit later at 9:15, he came back and had another show that was for 18 and older. It was more of an adult comedy show. It wasn't really inappropriate. Dylan and I went to both shows. You know, it had a little bit just more adult humor to it, but it wasn't really bad. And so we thought he was very funny, and we enjoyed both of the shows a lot. And so we really enjoyed getting to have that opportunity to go to the Palladium Theater one last time and get to just kind of hear a comedy show. We both were laughing out loud and just really enjoying the show and the time that we had in there. So we definitely had a full evening yesterday with the entertainment in the theater, getting to see both of his acts, and we really just enjoyed getting to experience that. And so at the end of his first show, the general show, as he was finishing up and kind of wrapping things up and going off the stage, our cruise director, Talita, she came back out and she let everybody know that they had a special surprise for us, and said we should just hang on in the theater. And so Dylan and I waited in there. And so after the comedy show and Derek Cameron went off stage, they had some of the Royal Caribbean singers and dancers come back out on the stage, and they did a little kind of farewell performance. They had a little song that was just kind of talking about the cruise coming to an end and just until we see you again kind of a song. And so it was really cute and really sweet, just to kind of wrap everything up with a really nice song that really was very meaningful to our trip. And then once they finished that song, they announced that the staff members were going to come up on the stage. And so while we were sitting there on the aisles on both sides. They had a whole bunch of the housekeeping staff, a bunch of their chefs, and just other staff from around the ship come out and just kind of go up the aisles, and they all went up on the stage, and we were able to just applaud them and just thank them so much for their amazing service that they provided this week. And so that was really cool and really special. We just thought that was really nice that they do that. And just really, we could tell that there is just such a great family vibe with the staff here on board. Everybody gets along really well and works together really well. And so it was just really nice just to kind of see a lot of the people together and just really get to show our appreciation to them for just all of the hard work that they put in this week and everything that they've done for us. So we enjoyed that a lot. That was such a special part of the show last night. And Tolita, as we were going into the show and she was introducing everything, she was making some comments about how it was going to be hard for everybody to go back home. And, you know, when you go in, every time you sit at a table, someone's not going to bring you food, and you're going to have to do laundry and clean and all the things, which definitely you get very spoiled very quickly on a cruise. Everything is kind of done for you, and it's such a cool and such a magical aspect of cruising. Everything is just included. It's just kind of there and ready for you. So definitely that's probably the hardest part for us about going back to reality. But another joke that she did make is she was saying, but once you go home, when you go into your bathroom at your house, you'll be able to spread your arms out and you won't touch both walls. And that's very true. These bathrooms are very, very tiny. And so that's something that we've had to just kind of adjust to throughout the week. But we definitely just really enjoyed our cruise so much, and it was just such a great experience. So even though it's a little hard to leave it and to go back into reality, we really just had such a blast this week. So very, very grateful for all of the experiences that we had, the service that was provided. They have wonderful service here on board. So we are very, very thankful for the trip that we've had this week. And so once we finished there in the Palladium Theater, in between the two shows, they actually had a small encore performance by the couple who did the Tango Buenos Aires show the night before. And so they had that in the Centrum. And so Dylan and I decided to go over for that. And so it was the main couple from the tango show, and they were in the Centrum on the small dance floor that they have in there, and they did an up close and personal performance for the guests. And so they were very, very close. They were right in front of us and doing a couple of really beautiful tango dances. So it was so cool to get to see them again. They were so beautiful. They are very, very talented, and you can tell that they have been doing what they do for a very long time, and they have practiced and practiced so much. The two of them just have great chemistry. Dylan and I were not sure if they are married or not. I think that they are. I don't know that they ever actually said that. And they might not be, they might just be dance partners, but they do have really good chemistry together when they dance. They are beautiful, they are so elegant, and so it was really cool to get to see them one last time and get to see them a little bit closer than we were able to in the Palladium Theater during the Tango Buenos Aires show the evening before. So we did film their dance. We thought it was really pretty, and definitely something that a memory that we're going to treasure for a long time. So that was a lot of fun. That was really cool. And then, like I said, that was in between the two comedy shows. So after that, we went back in there, and I think also before we went back in the theater, we took some more sunset photos. And just as the sun was going down yesterday, it was so pretty, and there was a sadness and also a specialness of getting to see the sun over the ocean one last time on our trip. We were definitely just soaking in the view and just really enjoying that. There is just nothing like being on a cruise ship and looking over the side of the deck and just seeing the sun over the water. It is just absolutely gorgeous. And definitely we are going to miss that view when we go back home, and we'll really just look forward to that for the next time that we go on a cruise, and hopefully that won't be too long from now, because we had a wonderful time this week and definitely want to be able to cruise again. So we really are just having a great time, and just really sad to see it all come to an end. And so last night we went to the Tango Buenos Aires encore show, and then we went to the comedy show, and then after that we were just kind of winding down at that point. We kind of checked the schedule of things that they had going on, and nothing else really appealed to us too much, so we decided to just kind of start calling it a night. We were able to go over to the photo gallery, and we were able to select our 100 photos, and it was really challenging. We had over 300 total, and from the entire week, so they definitely had a lot of photo opportunities. Each photo drop had several or we were able to get several pictures taken each time, and so we had a lot of beautiful photos to choose from, and it was hard to narrow it down, but we mostly just went through and for each photo background tried to select at least one or two from each one, and then once we had done that, we kind of went back through and were able to just kind of look at maybe getting some repeat photo backdrops for some photos that we really liked and really wanted to have. So we felt like we had a very wide range of different looks, different poses, and so we're very grateful for so many photo opportunities, and definitely we agreed that the photographers here on board were some of our favorite staff members. They were so fun to work with. It was wonderful. A lot of them even remembered our room number every time that we would go up, because they have little computers that they just type your room number in to connect your photos to your stateroom. And so it was really funny that a lot of them remembered our room number, they remembered our names, and they were just very, very just friendly. They made getting your photo a lot of fun. So we were very impressed by their photographers and by the photo package process. So we definitely would recommend that, especially we love getting our picture taken. We love having those photos and memories and everything. And so that was definitely something that we really enjoyed and really got a lot out of on this trip. So definitely would highly recommend the photo package. And the photographers again are just absolutely wonderful. So we were able to go over to the photo gallery and use one of their computers just to see them. We were able to see our pictures on the app also, and we could select them there, but it was nice to be able to go to the photo gallery and use the larger computer to kind of see everything all at once. It made making our selections much easier to be able to compare pictures and to see them all in one large screen. So we were able to go ahead and pick out our pictures, and then once we get back to land and we've got better cell service, we'll go ahead and download all of those onto our phones. So we were very, very happy and excited about that. So once we finished up with all of that, we decided, because it was our last night and our last chance, we were going to go back up to the pool deck and go sit in the hot tub for just a little bit. And so we decided to go do that. We put on our swimsuits and went up to the deck and just hopped in the hot tub for just a little bit. And then while we were up there, we decided to stop by the Park Cafe. It's the only place that's really open with food pretty late into the evening. And so we went over there and we got a couple slices of pizza and some water to take back to the room, and really just enjoy those last few moments there on the pool deck in the solarium, and just the time that we had left on the ship last night. So after that, we just came back up to our room and decided to take some showers, just get ready for bed, and started working on packing up our suitcases and carry-on, getting everything ready to disembark the ship today. And so we just about got everything all packed up, everything we could get last night, got some sleep, and then this morning we're just finishing up, packing up, getting ready for the day, and then we are gonna go over to the main dining room, get some breakfast this morning, and then we will be pretty much right after that disembarking the ship and heading on home. And so this has just again been such a wonderful trip. We've had an amazing time. It's just been great service, great food, great adventures, a lot of fun. We had a great time on all of our excursions. So we are very, very grateful for such a wonderful week this week, and just looking forward just to a couple more hours here on the ship, just finishing up the trip, finishing up our vacation, and then heading on back home. So we're gonna go ahead and just finish up, put some jewelry on. We'll go ahead and close out the video, and then it is time for us to disembark and finish up this last chapter of our trip. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video as well as our entire Chatty Get Ready With Me Royal Caribbean Grandeur of the Seas adventure that we've had this week. I would love to hear from you in the comments below. What has been your favorite part of this adventure? And I'd love to hear from you just more about any Royal Caribbean or other cruise line cruises that you've gone on. If you enjoyed this video and if you enjoyed this series, please give this a like. And if you would like to see more makeup tutorials and other videos in the future, please hit the subscribe button and please hit the notification bell for any additional videos that are posted in the future. Until next time, let's be kind to each other, beautiful to ourselves, and never afraid to make up the rules.